Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over ThatHomieGage's defense. He's been in my Discord quite a bunch lately, talking and chatting him up. If you want to be a part of that Discord server, the links are in the description, and that's how you can get your defense featured on Defense Up. Just look down there, and while you're down there, hit that like button for me. Really helps me out. All right, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power level, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. If you can't tell, I'm feeling a little chipper today, so we're giving out some good grades. That's how it works here. But not on this one. Not on this defense. No, you went striker and skirmisher on your Infinity Watch the wrong direction. Nebula needs to be a skirmisher. The others need to be strikers 100%. I have no other case for any other ISO setting than that. So definitely change those. You over-invested in the wrong ISO down here on File of L. That's terrible. And then Star-Lord, who is obviously a fantastic character, because why else would Scopely want us to put G15 gear on him? No, he's trash. Be careful of that nowhere event. It is not worth it. Don't go over. I'm recommending gear 12. That's it for that team. Don't bother going 13 on some of those tunes. It's just terrible. And then you put Ronan in here, and Ronan's whatever. I don't know. This is obviously just a filler team. Your Infinity Watch is powerful, useful members. You should go ahead and build them. You're going to get value out of them in a lot of different places. I think at your level, of course, you're trying to unlock some certain campaigns, and you're just hyper-focused on some things, and that's great. That's how you should be. But if you want to do anything in war, Infinity Watch has a ton of value. Still one of the premier war teams. I prefer them on offense. So I'm going to give you a C for this, maybe even a C minus actually, because you're just going the wrong way on some of these ISOs. Swap those ISOs around, and then as you unlock the rest of the Infinity Watch, start building this team up. You don't even need Adam Warlock on it for it to be a really powerful team. Hell, just the 3-piece in here is fantastic. When you go Guardians with Rocket, Star-Lord, and Groot, you want to go Striker, Skirmisher, respectively. Outside of that 3-piece, Star-Lord makes for a good Skirmisher, level 5, to land his blinds. But again, he's trash. He's absolute trash. You don't want to build him. You don't want to go 1.5 on him. It's just not worth it. So yeah, gonna go C minus on this. Don't really like what I'm seeing here or where you're gonna go with this in the future. Team number 2 is a Hydra with Zemo. It's a good team. You went skirmishers on everybody and striker on Red Skull. I don't really like that. I think there's better native ISOs for the individuals, but the best thing you can do is put Fortifier on all those minions. Put Fortifier on all those minions and go ahead and make them war ready. The investment that you put into this team as a defense is less than the investment that the offensive team coming into it will need. And those are the kind of war value teams that you want on defense, is being able to invest less. Also, there's a case to be made for using this team on offense or portions of this team on offense. Zemo's a great character. You can skip Zemo. We have people that have proven that is totally possible to skip Zemo, but I still think he's fantastic. He's fun. He's worth building. Red Skull also has some really good value. His special is the opening move, and he gives 30% turn meter to everybody, so you can use him on different hybrids in different places, so he's also a fun character. And I like to tell people to build in fun characters. Forget being the most hyper-competitive builder in the game. Have some fun with this. We were talking earlier about how this game is not so much fun right now, and people are pretty upset. So do things that are fun. Forget about being super hyper competitive, because there are so many changes coming to the game right now that it's hard to know where to spend your investment. So for me, I don't like what you did with just the skirmishers all over the place. I think they have better native ISOs, but the best one for this defense is Fortifier across the board. Continue to build Zemo as a skirmisher. Get him up to 1.5, because that's where he really excels, landing that ability block on the opener. And then Red Skull you can just do any ISO you want on Red Skull. He's got a case to be made with everything he does there. I'm gonna give you a B for this team. I like who you're using, but I just don't like your ISO choices. Team number 3 is a Supernatural, just a straight up Supernatural. Now these guys got a rework recently with the Dark Hunter patch. One of the few good things to come out of this patch. I really don't like your ISO choices though. Okay, from left to right, we should be Fortifier on Doctor Strange to keep him alive so he can revive people. You need to have Skirmisher level 5 on Mordo so he lands his blinds. Although, with the rework, there's a case to be made to making him a Raider now, because he has the focus to do it without the Skirmisher. Your choice. The lady in red should be Raider, I think. Maybe a skirmisher. I don't know. She doesn't really matter. She just needs to even out that power level and get those deflects to the team. And then after that, she can kind of die. You know, her extending the negative effects. So it's not matter so much there. Ghost Rider, striker 100%. He needs to be a striker 100% for his damage. He's fast. He is the damage dealer on this team. Maybe Elsa Bloodstone is now a damage dealer also with her rework, but I'm not really sure. I haven't had much chance to play with her. Mine's only like 70k, and the rest of my members are at 100k or more. I use that hella natural instead, replacing her. So we'll see. You could make her a Raider. So we got a lot of ISO changes need to be made. You could leave Scarlet Witch as a striker. It's just not worth changing. But everybody else, you're going to get a lot of value by changing them to the proper ISOs. It's really unfortunate you spent so much in the wrong direction there. So this is also an offensive team, not a defensive team. But if it's what you're throwing on defense, okay. I mean, obviously, they're not powerful enough to use on offense. So as you build this team, keep all that stuff in mind, or just leave it the way it is as a filler defense. I'm going to give you a C+ for this. Heroes for hire, sort of. JJ is in here. Now, Gage knows who should be in here, and he's working at unlocking her. She isn't unlocked yet. That'd be Misty Knight. However, you need to put Luke Cage to the outside. That's a big no-no. Luke Cage should be a fortifier because he dies and revives. He's too slow to get any use out of that healer. And there's a lot of heal block going into this team. And so the healer ISOs don't work so much. That's why I recommend Iron Fist as a skirmisher. However, the healer ISO on him is a little bit more valuable because he does pop off a lot more. And, you know, Infinity Watch teams don't put a lot of heal block on this, and you can get some value out of it there. Kind of your choice. Otherwise, everything else you're doing is fine. Don't build JJ at all. She is just there for that cleanse. As soon as you can replace her with Misty Knight, do so. But be sure to get Luke Cage over to the other side. So I'm going to go with a B+ on this team. Unfortunate that you spent so much on the ISOs on Luke Cage, because that healer, you don't get any value out of that healer on him. Number 5 is a wave 1-ish. You have Thor replaced with Vision of all people. Vision is terrible, man. He has just gone downhill so bad. As soon as you can, put Thor in on this team. Thor's what makes this team really pop off. Let's see, and then your placement is going to be from right to left. It's going to be Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, then Thor, and then Hawkeye. Vision's garbage. He's not doing any good for you. Change Captain America to a healer, not fortifier. Yeah, the team's pretty underinvested like the rest of it. I know that you're doing good things on your offense, and this is just the junk things that we do, and that's okay. You know, you put the junk into your defense, and you build up that offense. But of course, build raids first. You know, everybody knows build for raids first. Okay, I don't like what you've done with this, and I don't like where you're going with it. I don't like the placement. I don't like that ISO. I don't like the character. I don't like it. I don't like it. C-. Okay, here is a Brother Bros. Brother Bros, right? It's half Brotherhood, half X-Factor. I would like to see a little bit of a placement change. Let's swap places with Polaris and Shatterstar so that the two most important damage dealers are getting those deflects. Let's put a little bit of power into Blob and make him a skirmisher, because he will be... No, you don't even need... Save the resources on Blob. Make him a fortifier. He's not going to be retaliating that much because he's only got one Brotherhood member. So make him a fortifier, like a level 1 fortifier, just for a little extra barrier. Maybe put some gear in him. Blob is a fun and useful character in other places, but he's a long ways down the road for you to ever need him, and by then he'll probably be over the hills. So don't put too much into him, but change him to a fortifier. Bring him up to like 15k or something. Gear tier 9 or something. Might as well. Same with Polaris. You got to bring her up anyway for those unlocks. Yeah, other than that one ISO, and who really cares because he's so underdeveloped. Yeah, let's get a placement change in here. I'll give you a B for the team. It's not so terrible. You didn't waste too much. These are so underdeveloped that it's not such a big deal. All right, Number 7, this is your Asgardian team, except it's not a full Asgardians. You're missing Loki. Loki would really make this team a lot better if you're going to run the full Asgardians. And at these power levels, the full Asgardians might be useful. I mean, who's going to want to waste one of their speed meta teams on an underbuilt Asgardian team like this? You've got a lot of investment in Hela. You've got a decent investment in Thor. I really think, though, that you should put Thor on that Wave 1 team. I think that you should run Hela on your Supernatural team as the Hela Naturals, or even save her for the Dark Hunters when they come out. Then you could be using her there. Heimdall can fill in on the Wave 1 Avengers if you start breaking that team up for other stuff like Skilletary or whatnot, or if we get a West Coast Avenger team for Hawkeye to go to. And then Minerva is a plug and play anywhere you want her to go. You could build some interesting hybrids with her. I just don't like the Asgardians at all. I think that team is no good, and it's not ever worth building up because it's already just, it's so countered, nobody ever uses it anymore. Teams throw it in there as a surprise, like their entire alliance will throw it in there as a surprise because no one's expecting to see Asgardians anymore. They're so terrible. Anyway, I think you should break this team up. I think the usefulness of what you got going on here, it just isn't there. I'm going to give you a C for this. Let's take a look at these ISOs, though. Healer across the board. In my opinion, when people use healer across the board, it's because they have no idea what they should be doing. And you wasted a lot of green ISOs making characters healer that shouldn't be healer. Heimdall should be a raider. Hela should be a raider or a striker, depending on where you're using her. Thor should be a raider. And Sif should be a healer or a raider. Probably raider. But honestly, Sif just belongs in the dumpster. She's no good anywhere. Yeah, break this team up. Use them better. Don't like it. Team number 8 is a villain tech team, but you threw Shuri in here. Shuri adds some value wherever she goes because she opens up with that defense up on everybody, and that's useful. I think that you could get a little better. Well, you could use her on a hybrid that might be better, but it's okay. I like throwing in a tank like a Drax or something in here. Keep people from opening up on Ultron. Let this team get started. But defense up on the team is a way to go also. I think people are going to see Ultron on here, and they're just not going to mess around, and they're going to come into it with like a 250 something and destroy it. And then it's kind of going to be a waste of a Shuri and a waste of an Ultron. So swap out Shuri with a pre-taunting tank. You can put some points into Ultron. He's still a good tech tune. People do use him in the tech raids. I don't recommend him as a top choice for tech raids, but he's there for you to use if you want him. Striker on Ultron should be what you do. Raider on Vulture is my preference. But on this build, actually, going the skirmishers on those two with Striker on Mysterio, he's going to call them for assists and get a double tap with what he does. That's pretty good. Is what it is. I don't like the investment in this team. You're really close to being war ready, but not there, and it's not worth putting them the rest of the way. I'm going to go B- on this. It doesn't excite me. I think you can do better. You're in chat talking with people all the time in Discord, and you're getting some good ideas. I think there's better stuff to do than this. It's just a villain tech team with a missing villain. Team number 9 is your super duper almost fastest Eternals team. This is a waste. Get Loki out of here. Put him on your Asgardian team. That Asgardian team will be better as a 5-piece. Emma's okay on this team. Cable's okay on this team because you're not going to be building X-Force anywhere, so that's all right. But the best thing to do is put a T4 in Chavez and put her with these Eternals on one of those Eternal builds. Check out my top 10 video if you want to see some different variants on the Eternals, plus some other stuff you can do with America Chavez. I don't think this is great because the only thing you got going on here is a really wonky power level, and so somebody might come in here with like a 300 Infinity Watch to beat this team, and they might not survive it because your Eternals are pretty beefy in here. So I think there's better Eternal builds. Let's see, the ISOs on these guys don't really matter other than the Eternals, and you got Skirmisher Striker there, and you got, a Skirmisher on Emma. I like her better as a healer. There's a case to be made for Skirmisher because of the way her basic works. I just like her better as a healer. Yeah. I'm going to give you a B for this. It's not a huge waste or anything. It's just now we have this whole new Eternal Chavez meta and the YA teams making things different. So I think this super duper speed team in here is pointless. People are just going to come in with an Infinity Watch, and the only thing you got going for you is those wonky power levels. Yeah, try something different. Team number 10, ouch. Secret Avengers with Kestrel and Fury. Get Fury out of here. Get him out of here. He's the chink in the armor. Replace him with Zemo. Replace him with Chavez. Again, that top 10 video will show you how to do it. Replace him with just about any... You could replace him with Namor, and Namor will do some turn meter rewind, which could help this team out, you know? But he summons on his first turn, which opens the door for those speed meta teams to just get going. So get rid of Fury. He's no good. I don't like him on this team. Otherwise, your placement is okay. And your ISOs are pretty good. I do like Kestrel as a raider because her ult, you know, you got that better chance for ult to go off. What's up, Sen? Thanks for the raid. Appreciate that. And then you got the healer on Maria Hill. Now, I am seeing Maria Hill with Skirmisher. With the Skirmisher on her. That's what the big boys are doing it up there at the top because they need the focus for her to do things. But no, healer's great for where you're at. Just get Fury out of here, man. I hate seeing Fury on defense. He's great on the offensive version of this team because you can control him and do his special first and speed the team up. And like if people can come into this with a mirror match and they can use their Fury's special instead of his ult, and they're going to be going ahead and they will completely control this team and beat it and even punch up on it. You got to get Fury out of there, man. All right. This has been my buddy Gage's defense. If you want your defense reviewed, like I said, links in the description. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.